I don't, and I never have understood why men care so much. If you're intending to be in a relationship with this woman, to date them, be their girlfriend, wife, whatever, I can understand wanting to know that or be concerned about that. But I don't know why so many random men care so much about women's body count and whether or not they're a virgin or not. Could those two women have been virgins? Absolutely. Could they have been? Absolutely. I don't think there's any way of telling. Only they know the answer to that, and I don't know why random men care.
Well, let me ask you something. Let's assume for a second that you were rolling the dice and it was your life on the line. And if you got the wrong answer, that's it. It's lights out. First answer, they're virgins. The second answer, they're not. What's your answer, Malik?
Yeah, based on how they were dressed, the tattoos, the cleavage, stomach showing, I would assume that they weren't.
And Malik, I think you're going to survive.
My life was on the line, but normally I wouldn't assume. I don't care about other women's body count.
Can I say something quick? Could they not have just been virgins because they were over the age of 22? Like, why do we have to keep going because of what they were wearing, because of the tattoos?
Right.
I don't think age matters.
Well, no, it's all of that, right?
When you can legally lose your virginity, I don't know what the age it is here, but in England you can lose your virginity at 16. So most people are going to assume people over 16, 18, you're going to not be a virgin. So why does it matter that they had pretty? I thought their clothes were pretty. I would wear that. Like,
they weren't that provocative, in my opinion. They could have been way more.
Yeah, it wasn't extreme. Well, one was dressed a bit more revealing than the other, but the one on the left was not that.
It made it sound like hookers or something. Like,
right.
I can see her coochie.
Continue. Go ahead.
Again, I don't understand why it matters, and I do agree with what you were saying before about they got defensive and kind of respond with satire, like, oh, I'm a virgin, I don't want to talk about my sexual experiences in bed. But at the end of the day, like, because I deal with that a lot of times men will come up to me and assume my body count is high. Like I said, I've only been in one relationship, I've only slept with one person in my life, and people just assume if I dress a certain way or I'm attractive, and I dress pretty conservatively usually. I don't know why random men care about.
Because we're pattern recognition machines. And so what happens is that if we see a pattern all the time of certain behaviors, then what ends up happening is we make these assumptions. Now you're right. They're not always right. They're not always right. Okay, but you can understand why people do it. You do it yourself.
Yes, right? I understand that. But if you make this assumption, then why don't you just rule that person out in your dating field?
Yeah, well, you might, but the point of this was he was on the street conducting interviews, so and part of his show is obviously to try to understand the engagement between men and women, so I completely understand why it was that he was asking that question. They have a right to do whatever they want, but I mean, it's reasonable to think, based on the patterns, based on what we see, right, we can kind of make these assumptions, and yes, we're going to be wrong sometimes, but we're mostly not going to be, right?
I'd agree with that to a certain degree, but again, I don't see the point.
The point of what?
The point of men caring what a woman who has nothing to do with their life's body count is.
I don't think most men do care, but we do care about the women who we might be pursuing romantically.
That's what I said. If you're pursuing a woman romantically, it's perfectly fine to ask about their body count, and maybe if they dress promiscuously, to question, hey, are you sure you're a virgin, or are you sure your body count's what you say it is? That's completely understandable if you're pursuing that person. But if it's just a random woman, she tells you she's a virgin, why are you going to have a back and forth about it?
Well, because he didn't want to suspend his disbelief.
Initially, he also didn't ask what their body count was.
They
brought it up themselves.
It's like if you're walking down the street and there's an alarm going off and a guy has a ski mask on and an AR and a bag of money and you're like, hey, that bank's alarm's going off, and you're making assumptions, right? Well, it's true, you are, but
and like I said, if someone, it was life or death, you had to assume were they virgins or not. I would have assumed no, just based on their appearance. But I think I don't know why men get offended at.
I don't think men
was offended.
We got
Grid One Motorsports donated $200. Yes, men must assume that if you dress like, hang out with, and go places that 304s go, then you are probably not a virgin. And we have to care. No man worth having wants to date a semen receptacle.
By the way, I love
I
that
agree
guy.
with that.
That's
all right.
Like the best super chatter is Grid One.
And also,
what's a seam?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh
okay.
yeah. Sorry.
Yep. Cool.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
So, also he he was asking a question. They responded by saying that they were virgins, so he probed based off of their questions. And he perhaps even detected on his own, just based off of our own observations that we made, based on how they're dressed, based on their tattoos, but also perhaps based on the way they answered, which we kind of brought up. You know, he was probing, like, are you guys serious? Like, da-da-da. So your thoughts on this? Also, could you scoot that way just a little bit? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they were joking, but I think that they were lying. And I also think that, you know, these videos, Shane. They get sectioned out so that people can just, you know, react to this. But, you know, I work with PragerU. We do man on the street videos all the time. You walk up to people and you either get a written permission that you can put them on camera and ask them questions, or, you know, somewhere in the can they have a audio visual with them saying, yes, I don't mind answering these questions. So it's always funny to me when, you know, people get on camera and then they have these like very evasive or aggressive responses. And so when I watch this, and whether they're joking or not, whether they're lying or not, you know, I think this is a meritocracy. They're lying. Let's judge them on that. I think that this aggressive response, I always think it's funny when people react that way, given they consented to be on camera.
Okay. Andrew, your thoughts on the... Are they well, I think you maybe already went into it.
Okay, well, let me make it abundantly clear. They're fucking lying.
Okay, there you go. And then what was the other thing I was going to ask? The video, okay. Wait, what was the other thing I was going to ask?
You didn't mention it. You just asked the first question.
How am I blanking on I feel like I need to rewatch the video again. Wait, how they were dressed? It was something, oh my God.
It was like, wasn't it judging by what they're wearing?
Yeah. Oh, I guess, yeah. Do you think that he was off base for, aside from whether they were lying or not about the virgin thing, what do you think about, you know, his comments about, you know, how they were dressed? Was that even my fucking question? God damn. Okay, all right. All right, go ahead.
Was that even your point? I honestly feel like it's just, every man does it. You know what I'm saying? They just judge you off of looks instead of, you know, getting to know you first. Like, that's everybody's first thing to do, is just judge you off of your appearance. Mm-hmm. And I think it's BS because you could dress like what I'm wearing today. You could be the most innocent person in the world. You don't know.
But don't you judge off appearance too?
Fat bastard donated $200.
Oh my God.
Get in my belly. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Ribs, I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Ribs, chully is baby back ribs.
Okay, thank you for the third time. Thank you, Fat Bastard. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's still funny though.
It's still funny. Always funny. Thank you, man. Appreciate your patronage. Did you have more on that?
You had a question.
Yeah, I was just saying. I mean, you do that too, though, right?
I mean, yeah, but it's not all about appearance.
No, I'm not saying it's all about.
Of course, you glance at somebody and say, okay, yeah, they're dressed nice or they're dressed, you know, decent, but it's not just for me.
But if like
to
a guy
assume,
is way shorter than you, right? You're gonna, like, wouldn't that be a thing that you would go?
I mean, but that's because that's not my preference. I don't like short men. But
so
that's
you're
not
judging off appearance,
that's
right?
not for me to. No, I didn't judge him because I didn't say, oh, well, he has less money or he doesn't have a good career. Or
no, but I mean, you judged him
looking.
Against your preference.
Well, yeah, but that's not the same thing.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
How could it not be?
Because you're judging someone
based on your preference, right?
No, it's not preference. You're judging them just because you think, okay, she dressed provocatively, she does, you know, hoe shit.
Yeah, and I have I have a preference against that, right?
But some people don't.
I know some people don't, but you, the individual with a preference, would be like,
we can agree to this.
That's a society thing, provocative. What she's wearing, that's society's view. That's not our personal view. When you like people put into boxes like she's dressed like a slut, she's dressed like a this, that's a society standard that has been placed upon someone. Sorry, it's happened.
And what's society made up of?
People, but it's a group opinion.
And group opinions are made up of individual opinions that the most amount of those individuals have, right?
You can have a different opinion to a society opinion.
You can, but I'm just saying, if you're looking at averages, you're saying, look.
Yeah, but you can't make everything an average.
Yes, but if most people hold the opinion, that's why stereotypes exist.
Yes, but that's not what you were asking her. She said
we're having a different conversation.
No, because you said she doesn't like short people.
Yeah.
Right.
She has because it's against her preference.
But
you asked me.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But you asked me if I see a short man, would I judge him? And I said, no, I'm not judging him. I'm just not going to look his way because that's not my preference.
Then that's a judgment.
It's not a judgment.
How could it be anything other than a judgment?
Not to entertain him in a certain type of way.
Let me see if I can demonstrate it to you. Let's say that you're on a blind date.
Okay.
Room's totally dark. You can't see him.
Mm-hmm.
Would you judge him on your height if you couldn't see it?
If I reach out to touch him.
No, you can't see it.
Yeah, you stand that man up.
You can't do any of that. You don't have that requisite information.
Okay.
Would you judge him on his height?
I can't. If I can't
Right.
see him.
The second you see it, though, you make that judgment.
It's not, but I don't feel like it's a judgment
Can you
thing.
scoot your mic this way?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, like
Okay.
to kind of be as charitable as I can be to this, I think I understand. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying when you're talking about judgment,
Yeah.
when you think of judgment, you think of something negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's take that view away for a second.
Okay.
So we're not talking about negativity, but just general judgments. Like if you're going to go across the street, you don't want to go where the traffic's busy, right?
Right.
Good judgment, right?
Right. Okay. Now I understand.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
I can agree with
Let me
Okay.
read this really quick. It didn't come through. If you dress like a,
Oh wow.
Oh.
Hey, she was a hoe.
you're going to be seen as a.
Hey, she was a hoe.
Feminism has made women think they should sexualize themselves, then be about it. Have some self-respect. The patriarchy is here for you.
Well, honestly, some of us don't really care if you see us as whores, because some of us don't want to be your wife. Some of us don't want to be in a relationship with you guys. Some of us are really just here to get your money, honestly. So, if you're looking at people, if I know that getting your money is me, if I dress provocative, if I do this and I do that, that's going to attract you, because you're looking for a wife. So you're going to go for a woman who is dressed a certain type of way. But me, I want your cash. So I'm going to act a certain way and I'm going to talk to you a certain way so that the people who are interested in me as a dominant woman, they're going to come to me.
Exactly.
Because they want me.
So think about this. So what you're saying is, based on all those prerequisites and the way that you ask, you're going to attract the exact type of whatever that you want to attract, right?
Yes, of course.
So then a stereotype will exist based on those things, and people will make those judgment calls, and they'll probably be right.
But I never said people don't judge. I
No,
know
no,
people
right,
judge.
right. I'm just saying.
I get it every single day. People inbox me every day, unprovoked hate. Just because of what I do. So it's like, it's not really, I know people judge. I get that. But I use it towards my advantage because I know people judge.
No, I get that. I'm just saying that understandably, if what they are judging based on this is probably accurate. That's the point.
Yeah, because we live in America. Go to another country in Africa where tits are out, walking down the street, are you going to call her a whore?
No, the judgment's going to be different.
That's different because it's a different society, just like she told you.
Sure.
It depends on wherever you are, whatever society you are in, that is the opinion you have. So if I was born somewhere else, me outside with my titties out would not offend you.
Yeah, but you're not
I'm not in here, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I get it.
Because
but if you were in the other,
I'm not looking for what America's society is here to give.
Yeah,
so
I mean, but you are though, right? Because
how?
Here, I'll explain.
Please.
So let's assume that you're in this different nation. And the standard for what they considered women who were looking for the preference of attracting people so they can get their money was that they dressed in sundresses. Would you dress in a sundress?
Yeah.
Well, then you've just set the societal standard for how we can judge whether or not you're kind of
I'm not disputing that.
Yeah,
though.
but that's the whole point. And that's why
My
the judgments there would be the same as the judgments here, and generally speaking, they'd be right.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I'm just agreeing with what she said, that this is a societal norm, and us here in America, we look at stuff a certain way.
Yeah.
In a different area, it's looked at a different way, which is agreeable. It's just where you're born at.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that.